Let's be honest. 2020 hit like a rogue wave, a massive, unexpected surge that crashed over everything we thought we knew. It wasn't just a splash. It was a complete inundation. One minute, we're living our best lives, carefree and optimistic. The next, boom, global pandemic. Life as we knew it screeched to a halt. Celebrations turned into cancellations and bustling streets became eerily quiet. Suddenly, retirement dreams, beach cocktails, globe-trotting adventures, leisurely mornings felt a million miles away or way too close for comfort, depending on your risk tolerance. Those carefully laid plans seemed to evaporate overnight. COVID-19 didn't just mean toilet paper shortages and sourdough baking becoming a national pastime. It fundamentally changed how we think about retirement, forcing us to reevaluate our priorities and timelines. The old assumptions no longer held true. Our predictable path? Gone. The straight and narrow road to retirement suddenly became a winding, uncertain trail. Job security? Shaky. The foundation of many retirement plans crumbled as layoffs and furloughs swept across industries. The stock market? Doing Olympic-level flips, dives, and twists, leaving investors dizzy and disoriented. Volatility became the new normal. Saving for the future got complicated when the present was so uncertain, with immediate needs often taking precedence over long-term goals. Suddenly, questions like, are we saving enough, became urgent and personal, demanding immediate attention and a reassessment of our financial strategies. The pandemic didn't just throw a wrench in the works, it redesigned the whole machine, forcing us to rethink every aspect of retirement planning. Some paused saving, others dipped into retirement funds, making difficult choices to navigate immediate financial pressures, and many retired sooner than planned, often not by choice, but due to layoffs, health concerns, or the changing economic landscape. It's a whole new ball game, and the rules are still being written, constantly evolving in response to the ongoing pandemic and its economic fallout. So what now? Where do we go from here? And how do we navigate this uncharted territory? We're breaking down how COVID-19 flipped retirement planning on its head, examining the ripple effects and the long-term consequences. We'll cover the big challenges, the unexpected curveballs, the unforeseen obstacles that have reshaped the retirement landscape. And most importantly, how you can navigate this new landscape, adapt to the changing conditions, and still achieve your retirement goals. The good news? Your future isn't toast. It might look different than you imagined, but it's still within reach. We just need to get smarter, more adaptable, and more proactive in our approach to retirement planning. Think of this as your financial self-care session. Fewer tears, more real talk, and a practical guide to navigating the new realities of retirement. Let's dive in. Let's get started on building a resilient and secure future, no matter what challenges come our way. Before we get into the details, let's talk sources. We're not quoting TikTok gurus or Reddit rumors. Our info comes from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Employee Benefit Research Institute, and financial giants like Fidelity and Vanguard. We've sifted through academic studies and government reports so you don't have to. Our goal? Trustworthy, actionable advice, not financial myths. We've cross-checked everything so you can feel confident about the strategies we share. Let's get into the real story backed by real data. The COVID-19 pandemic didn't just disrupt our daily lives. It fundamentally altered the way we approach long-term financial planning. It turned saving for retirement into a precarious financial seesaw, where fortunes shifted dramatically depending on individual circumstances. Some people surprisingly saved more, with no travel, no daily lattes from the local coffee shop, just extra cash funneled into savings accounts and retirement funds. Unforeseen circumstances led to increased financial prudence for some. The U.S. personal saving rate hit a record high of 33.8% in April 2020, a testament to this shift in spending habits. People were holding onto their money, unsure of what the future held, but on the other side of the coin, millions lost jobs or saw their income slashed, forcing them to pause or completely stop their retirement contributions just to make ends meet. The dream of a comfortable retirement seemed to slip further away. About 30% of Americans with existing retirement savings were forced to reduce or entirely stop their contributions during the height of the pandemic, a decision with potentially significant long-term consequences. The ability to work from home made a huge difference in financial outcomes. Those who could transition to remote work often built a financial cushion, taking advantage of reduced commuting costs and other work-related expenses. But others, particularly those in essential or service industries, saw their safety nets vanish completely. This growing gap in savings could have profound and long-term consequences for overall retirement readiness across the nation. And the stress and anxiety of falling behind on retirement goals, it's a very real burden, making it even more difficult to mentally and financially restart the saving process. The pandemic has undeniably widened existing financial gaps and inequalities. While some watched their nest eggs grow, benefiting from market gains and reduced spending, others were simply trying to stay afloat, struggling to cover basic necessities. For many, the prospect of retirement moved further away, shifting from someday soon to a much more uncertain maybe someday. The long-term impact remains to be seen. Remember the stock market in the early days of COVID? The world was grappling with uncertainty, and the financial markets reflected that anxiety. It was a true roller coaster ride. The S&P 500 experienced a dramatic drop, plummeting over 30% in just a matter of weeks. A historic decline that left many investors reeling. Can you imagine watching your hard-earned retirement savings shrink so rapidly, almost overnight? It was a harsh reality for many. Absolutely terrifying, the fear and uncertainty were palpable. The instinct to panic sell in such a situation is incredibly strong, a natural reaction to protect what you have. But history has shown us that it's usually the worst move you can make, locking in those losses and then missing out on the subsequent market rebound. It's a classic case of buying high and selling low, and indeed, the market did eventually recover, proving its resilience once again. However, the recovery wasn't felt equally by everyone. Different investors experienced the volatility in vastly different ways. Younger investors, with a longer time horizon, generally had the luxury of being able to ride out the storm, knowing they had years to recover any losses. But those nearing or already in retirement faced a much more immediate and real sense of anxiety, as their nest eggs were directly impacted. So what's the key takeaway from this experience? The lesson? Volatility is an inherent part of investing in the stock market. It's something you need to be prepared for. That's why diversification across different asset classes and having a well-thought-out investment strategy that aligns with your individual risk tolerance are absolutely crucial. And sometimes, the best course of action is to simply do nothing. Resist the urge to make drastic changes to your portfolio in the heat of the moment, during periods of market chaos. The market swings during the COVID-19 pandemic served as a powerful reminder of the value of playing the long game when it comes to investing. Diversify your holdings, maintain a calm and rational approach, and always remember that markets have a historical tendency to recover over time, while panic-driven decisions rarely pay off in the long run. The wild ride we experienced was a valuable wake-up call for investors of all ages and experience levels. Don't allow short-term market turbulence to derail you from achieving your long-term financial goals. Keep your eyes on the prize and stay focused on building a secure and comfortable future for yourself. When the pandemic hit, many turned to their retirement accounts for emergency cash. The CARES Act made it easier. No 10% penalty for early withdrawals up to $100,000. For some, it was a lifeline. But early withdrawals come with a big cost-lost future growth. That $10,000 you take out now could have become $30,000 or more over decades. Even without the penalty, you still owe taxes, and your retirement savings take a permanent hit. About 1.5 million people took CARES Act distributions by mid-2020. The challenge now? Catching up. Saving more, working longer, or adjusting expectations. Early withdrawals solve today's crisis, but create tomorrow's problem. Know the true cost before you raid your future. Recovery starts with a plan to rebuild. COVID sparked a wave of early retirements, some by choice, many by necessity. Job losses, health risks, and a new outlook on life pushed millions out of the workforce. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis reported nearly 3 million excess retirees by late 2021. Many left with smaller nest eggs and bigger worries, especially about healthcare. Retiring before Medicare means expensive insurance, COBRA, and ACA plans aren't cheap. Fidelity estimates a 65-year-old couple may need $315,000 for healthcare and retirement. Early retirees face more years of high costs, making planning essential. Health savings accounts and long-term care insurance matter more than ever. The dream of early retirement now comes with a hefty healthcare price tag. The world got complicated, but you don't have to go it alone. A certified financial planner can help you build a strategy tailored to your life. Diversification is your shield. Spread investments across stocks, bonds, and more to manage risk. COVID's market chaos proved why you don't want all your eggs in one basket. And don't forget your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months expenses, ready for life's curveballs. It's not about getting rich quick, it's about building resilience. These pillars, advice, diversification, emergency savings, are your financial foundation. They help you weather storms, pandemic or otherwise. Start now, even if you're rebuilding. Future, you will thank you. With your financial team in place, it's time to rethink your retirement timeline. Working a few extra years can boost savings, let investments grow, and increase Social Security benefits. Delaying retirement isn't always fun, but it can make a big difference. Stay informed about policy changes. Laws like the CARES Act and Secure Act can impact your plans. Tax rules, Social Security, and Medicare updates matter. Don't get caught off guard. Keep an eye on financial news and adjust your strategy as needed. Being proactive and informed helps you avoid surprises and seize new opportunities. Adaptability is your best asset in a shifting world. COVID-19 shook up retirement plans everywhere, but it's not the end of your dream. Financial resilience is about adapting, not avoiding setbacks. The pandemic taught us to reevaluate, learn new skills, and get creative with our finances. Maybe your timeline shifted or your strategy needs a refresh. That's okay. Flexibility, learning, and asking for help are key. We now know the value of diversification, emergency funds, and smart saving. Focus on what you can control. Your planning, your responses, your willingness to adjust. Every smart move adds up, like training for a marathon. With the right mindset and tools, you can still reach a comfortable retirement. We've got this. Let's keep moving forward.